Hello, what's your name, bro?
Jeremy.
Jeremy. Nice to meet you, brother. My name's Khalid. Jeremy, so we're coming on campus today. We're asking people, do you believe in God? And if you do, what's your faith?
Yeah, I believe in God.
You believe in God?
Yeah.
What would you say your faith is? How do you believe in God?
I'm Jewish.
If you can raise your voice a little bit more.
I'm Jewish.
You're Jewish. Okay, what type of Jew are you?
Ashkenazi, I'm Reform.
Reform. Okay, so you're not Orthodox.
No.
Okay, bro. So I'd like to ask you two things. What's your current views on the Palestine-Israel conflict, if you have any?
I don't really support either side that much.
Yeah. Do you have like a stance? Do you have some opinions maybe you'd like to share? Do you think there's a right? Do you think there's a wrong? What's your ideas?
I think.
Do you support the state of Israel?
Not as much really.
Really? Okay, interesting.
I'm not a very Zionistic person.
Okay.
I like to think I'm an American first.
Okay. Interesting. And for anyone wondering, Zionist is a Jew or a non-Jew, Christian, could be a Christian, could be a non-Jew, an atheist, that believes that the Jewish people have a right to a homeland in the state of Palestine, correct?
Yes, you are 100% right.
Yes, so you would, there's a lot of Jews, right, that do not believe in the Zionistic idea. Am I right in saying this?
Yes, but there's also a lot who do.
Yeah, and a lot of people do it and a lot of people don't, right? So why do you specifically, Jeremy, not agree with the Zionistic idea? And if you can raise your voice just a little bit, bro.
It's not really a fact I disagree. It's more I don't support it.
Yeah.
I think there's a clear distinction between disagreeing versus not supporting.
Okay. Can you explain why you do not support? I want to understand your idea. Like, do you believe that the Palestinians have had their rights usurped? Do you believe that the Jews, actually the Jews have a claim? Do you, what's your exact belief as a Jewish person in America?
I believe that they're... Hold on, I'm trying to think.
You're good, bro. Take your time.
I believe that both sides, I'd honestly have rightful claims, and there is better ways to solve it or in fighting, and I don't know what the solution should be.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, what's going on now, as you know, since October 7th, would you agree that there has been a lopsidedness in the reaction of the Israeli state and the amount of civilians that have died on the Palestinian side? I think the toll yesterday was around 8,000 civilians in total since October 7th have died. Not including, of course, or including actually the ones that died from missile attacks from bombings of hospitals and from Christian Palestinians that died from bombings of churches and these things.
Well, I think there's, I'm not sure what to say.
Yeah. What do you think about this idea that there has been a extraordinary amount, a lopsidedness of Palestinians that have died? Civilians, not militants. We're talking about civilians, people that have no access to even try to leave the area because, as you know, Gaza, it's landlocked. You know, it's sea locked.
Yeah.
They can't leave. They can't enter. Everything is controlled by the Israeli government. You're talking about imports and exports and food and water and electricity. So what do you think about this idea?
I'd say there's also a good amount of Jews who also died. Because if you look over the years, both sides have been in conflict for so long.
Yeah.
It goes back and forth. It has been for, my entire lifetime.
Yeah.
More or less. Yeah, my entire lifetime.
More than your life, over 75 years.
Yeah. Well, so I think maybe in this one point, whatever, or Palestine, but I think if you look in the very broad perspective, I don't know, I'd say it probably equals out
You'd say it equals out?
Yeah.
I have some statistics. I just want you to just react to maybe some quick statistics about the issue.
For this current issue,
yes.
or for the whole?
I'll give you dates right now. So, for example, since 2014, over 2,100 people have died, mostly innocent civilians on the Palestinian side. Over 60,000 homes were destroyed. Over 100,000 people were made homeless. 20,000 tons of explosives were fired into one of the most highly densely populated areas in the world. Since from 2000 to 2007, a total of 971 children have died. You with me, right?
Yeah.
88% were Palestinian, 12% were Israeli. Since 2005, 23 out of every 24 conflict-related deaths have been Palestinian. That's 96% Palestinian death rate. And you're talking about numbers from over 95% to 99% of Palestinians that die are civilians. You know, it's not militants. And since 2008, when you're talking about injuries, out of 158,000 injuries, 152,600 are Palestinian. So what do you think about these stats I just gave you? Is it really a two-sided conflict, or is it lopsided?
I don't know.
Yeah. Listen, bro, I appreciate your honesty, bro. I appreciate your honesty. And I appreciate that your stance, that you're not a Zionist. You don't particularly align yourself with that claim. But do you agree that Gaza is the world's largest open-air prison? Compared to, or after I told you the circumstances?
Can you define open-air prison?
Well, a prison is something that you have no right to leave.
Yeah.
You know what prison is.
Yeah.
The people that are in charge of you control what you eat, how you eat, when you eat, if there's electricity or not, and all of your basically your human rights are determined by those people that are in power. And so Gaza, I would say, Gaza is 25 mile by 5 mile area with over 2 million people in it. Just think about that: 25 miles by 5 miles with 2 million people in it. And you're talking about imports and exports that are controlled by the Israeli government. You're talking about food. You're talking about water. Over 95% of water from the Gazans drink is labeled as contaminated water. It's unsafe to drink. You're talking about all of this control from the Israeli side, with the Palestinian people having no sovereign individuality or right to control their land. Now, I would say that's a prison. Would you agree? You can't leave. You can't come in. Everything's controlled by the Israeli government. What do you think, bro, Jeremy?
So it's hard to leave any war area, like where there's conflict.
What is it?
It's hard to leave any area where there's lots of conflict.
It's hard to leave any area where there's lots of conflict?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they haven't been able to leave for over 17 years, even when there's been ceasefires. You can't leave that country. You can't leave Gaza. If you're a Gazan, if you're a Palestinian living there, there are kids now that have been born after the containment of Gaza, that have never left. They don't know what the world looks like outside of that 25 by 5 mile radius.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. No.
Would you not say that this is a prison?
It's a prison, but
Yeah.
I don't particularly see that as like it just feels like a consequence of the conflict. I don't really see it as
civilians. It's a consequence of the conflict.
Yeah.
So are civilians dying a right consequence, or is it just what do you think about over 95% of people that die on the Palestinian side are civilians?
I feel like it's just unavoidable if you're going to have conflict. No.
It's unavoidable.
Yeah. Like you'll have civilian.
Yeah, but 95%, bro. That's majority.
Well, when you have that dense of a population.
Yeah, but 95%. Think about that number.
Yeah. It's just kind of unavoidable consequence of war.
So would you say that bombing civilian hospitals is a consequence of the war?
It's not a very good choice, but I believe it's a consequence of war.
Would you say that's a right of during someone in war to bomb civilian hospitals?
I didn't say it was a right.
No, I'm saying, would you say that? Because you're saying it's a consequence.
No, it's not right. No one has the right to just, oh, I don't have the right to just, go up to someone and end their life.
Yeah, but I mean, you're in war, right?
Yeah, but it's not a right, though.
Yeah, because they're civilian, right?
War is just, conflict and there.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't label it as a conflict because of the lopsidedness. You're talking about one side that it's backed by billions of dollars by world superpowers, like by the likes of the U.S. and the European Union and the U.K. and the majority of the Western countries, against a Palestinian side which has no international backing, and it's fighting with rocks. Like, is that a conflict or is it? You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, like, over years,
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you one more question. Do you believe that the Jewish people in 1948 had a right to name the land of this land in Palestine as their own, called the State of Israel? Do you think they had a right to that?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. Explain why.
I'm not really a big history guy, but after the Holocaust, the Jews got the land. I think that was.
Yeah, but what did the Palestinians have to do with the Holocaust?
I think they should just, I think there should just, be peace among them.
I listen, bro. I agree. There should be peace, and there was peace. There were Jews living in Palestine for over 2,000 years amongst the Palestinians.
Yes.
They called themselves Palestinian. Did you know that or not? There were Jews before the State of Israel. They would say, "I'm Palestinian Jew. I'm a Palestinian." And they coexisted among the Muslim Palestinian, the Arab Palestinians, for over 2,000 years, over 1,300 years since the Muslim conquest. More than that, the Palestinian Arabs. So I'm saying that there should be peace, yes, but what does the land of the Palestinians and the people of the Palestinian people have to do with a crime perpetrated from a Nazi regime against a Jewish population? What do the Palestinians have to do with that? Why do they have to have their land taken?
Well, if everyone's sharing it, it's not really being taken from them.
No, I mean, it was. There was a state created called the State of Israel, and it took about 56% of the land in 1948. And they were less than 10% of the population living there, the Jews. If you see the world map before 1948, there was Palestine, a big land called Palestine. And then you move to 1948 and it's chopped in half and it says Israel and Palestine. I mean, you are anti-Zion. You're not a Zionist, but I think you are, like a little bit.
Well, I never said I was. Like I said, I don't. I don't support it, but I'm not. But
you're justifying it.
It's more of the fact that I don't support, but I'm not saying I don't shouldn't think it should exist. I think it's not my fight, but for the people who live, it is.
Yeah, so what would you say, like, the Palestinian, he's living on his land, and then 1948 happens, and then your land is now taken from you, and it's transferred to the State of Israel. Would you say that's a right that the Jewish people have?
So you're saying, are they still living on the land, or is it just?
Of course.
Well,
it was the land is under those Palestinian people's names.
If I happen to be there, and it just happened to be owned by the state, yet my way of life doesn't change, and I can still live in peace with these people coming in. I wouldn't have a problem.
You wouldn't have okay. You live in Houston, right?
Yes.
So what if I came right now to your house and I took everything and I took the deed?
Oh.
What?
You're saying taking my stuff?
Yeah. Take your stuff. Yeah.
But you're just saying it's like I was more implying like manage.
No. I know. Listen, Jeremy. I come to your house. I take the deed. I scratch your name. I put my name, and I live there, and I torture you, and I put you in the basement, and I live there. Is that fair?
I don't think that's a good analogy.
Why not? When in 1948, during the Nakba, you're familiar with the Nakba, right? Over 800,000 Palestinians were expelled forcefully by the Israeli state, and over around 2,000 villages were decimated. Around 2,000 villages. Is that a peaceful transfer of property for only managerial purposes, or is that a ethnic cleansing?
I said you'll bound to have any conflict in any event. I think
No,
just,
no, I mean, that wasn't a conflict at the time. That was a people living, and a outside Jewish force came and took the land and expelled them from their land. Is that a conflict, or is that a usurp of rights?
Well, I'm just using conflict as a, disagreement of opinions.
Yeah,
Clearly,
I mean, conflict implies that there's two equal sides and they're both fighting it out.
No. I think conflict is just a disagreement. I don't think it has anything to do with sides, power, etc.
Okay. So if there was a murder and there was a murderer and there was a killed, would you say that was a conflict, or would you say that was a crime?
It would be a poor choice of words, but
Yeah, I mean-
I'd say you can use conflict.
Yeah, I mean, no, but words is everything, and it changes the perception in your brain. Like if I saw someone that killed someone, I wouldn't say, bro, that was a war, or there was a battle that happened there, or a conflict. It implies that there was equal footing. I would say, bro, there was a crime that just happened.
Well, crime also involves law, so
Yeah, of course. The Palestinians were living under law, that even under international law, this is the right. This is the land of the Palestinians.
I feel it's
And the majority of Jews that came to Palestine, they were not even ethnically from Palestine. They were majority Ashkenazi. They were more European, French, English than they were Arab or Palestinian.
if it's the land of Jews, it's for all the Jews. Don't matter where you're from.
No, I'm
The
saying
whole-
if you think that's a rightful claim, majority of those people wouldn't even be considered Jewish. They had more than, like, there's DNA studies now that show a huge over 50% of those people's DNAs that came in the early in 1948 and before that were majority European. Like, their blood was majority European.
If you're a Jew, that's your religion, and
No, it's not. It's an ethno religion. It's ethnicity. You have atheist Jews. Am I wrong?
not really. That's a.
What do you mean not really?
There's
What do you mean?
one of the biggest things in who is a Jew. Oh,
If your mom's a Jew, you're a Jew.
yeah, but
Okay. There are many atheistic Jews. Many.
yeah,
Right?
but I don't know.
You see the point, right? I'd say this. Do you sympathize with the Palestinians? They've had their land taken from them.
I don't sympathize with them. I'm gonna be brutally honest.
Why not?
Because honestly, I'm American. The conflict is so far from me. I find it hard to
Do you-
empathize with them.
Okay. Do you sympathize with the Israelis that are dying?
Also, don't sympathize with them. Like I said,
Okay.
it's such a far conflict. Don't really sympathize with any side.
Okay.
It's
So, do you
hard
cri-
to be attached to, even though I am Jewish.
Yeah.
It's hard to sympathize.
Do you sympathize with the Jews that were killed in the Holocaust?
I think that's more because I am Ashkenazi.
Okay.
So, I have more closer ties.
Okay, then that means you would sympathize with Israelis dying. They're Jewish, no?
But like I said, more closer to me.
No, I mean, there are Ashkenazi Jews in Israel that are dying.
Yeah.
Do you sympathize with those people?
Don't really. Not as much. Like I said, too far away. Europe is closer.
No, but you see the inconsistency,
Yeah.
right? So I would
Well,
say
people are inconsistent, because
no. I mean, but a fair-minded person tries not to be. You don't just accept that fact by yourself. I would say that's biased, no?
Hey, like I said, I'm not gonna do that. I'm biased.
So innocent Palestinian people, children that died the other day, in the 500 people died in the hospital attack.
I'm not trying to get out of this or anything, but I do gotta go at some point.
No, you're good, bro. But I appreciate your time and your opinions.